As I was saying, let's look at verses 13 through 15. After the wise men were gone, an angel of the Lord appeared and told Joseph, "Get up and flee to Egypt with the child and his mother." The angel said, "Stay there until I tell you to return, because Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." And then in verse 14, that night Joseph left for Egypt with the child and Mary, his mother. And they stayed there until Herod's death. This fulfilled what the Lord had spoken through the prophet. "I called my son out of Egypt." After the wise men visited Mary and Joseph and presented them with their 3 gifts, when they leave, and again, Joseph has the dream. Remember, this isn't the first dream that Joseph has had when an angel appeared to Mary to tell her that she was going to become pregnant. He also appeared to Joseph in a dream to tell him about Jesus. But in this dream, the angel of the Lord tells Joseph to flee to Egypt because Herod is going to try to kill Jesus. There's several things that we learn here. Joseph was obedient to God. He didn't waste any time. He didn't wait until morning. He got them packed that night and headed for Egypt. In the middle of the night, God said, "Get up and go." Joseph didn't argue with God. He didn't ask God for plan B. He didn't wait to try to figure it all out. He just obeyed. And God provided. When God calls, He provides. God provided the things that they would need by the gold, frankincense, and myrrh provided by the wise men all those years earlier to get them through. They were the most valuable commodities at the time the wise men had given to them. Herod was furious when he realized that the wise men had outwitted him. He told his soldiers to kill all of the children, the boys born in Bethlehem under 2 years old. They had left at the right time. The place that had once enslaved the Jews, now God used to protect Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. History has a lot to say about Caesar. It was said that it was better to be King Herod's pig than his son because pigs were protected by law. Herod's family wasn't. King Herod had already killed 2 of his own sons. He'd had them strangled. He also killed one of his 10 wives, his favorite wife, because he thought that she had been unfaithful to him, which she wasn't. Herod killed his 18-year-old brother-in-law because the Jews liked him better than they liked Herod. Herod also killed his favorite wife's grandfather and her 80-year-old uncle, who had once saved Herod's life. Herod also killed his own uncle and his own mother-in-law. He was the sort of person who had no hesitation in ordering the male babies of Bethlehem to be killed. But God has a perfect plan. God's plan is always perfect. A situation can never occur that brings surprise to God. God doesn't need to have a plan B. The prophet Hosea wrote that God's son would be called out of Egypt, and Hosea 11:1. And after Herod's death, Joseph has another dream. An angel speaks to him, and again, no questions or arguing. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus head for Nazareth. God had protected them. There are 3 things that I want you to take out of this Christmas, after Christmas story. First, the safest place to be is where God leads you. The wise men followed the star and it led them to the Christ child. The wise men followed God's instructions and they escaped Herod's wrath. Joseph Joseph followed God's instructions and escaped to Egypt. Joseph follows instructions later on in a dream and went back to Nazareth. The safest place that you can be is in the center of God's will. Whatever happens, God knows where it will lead, and he will make sure that you come out at the end. Now, that doesn't mean that a Christian is exempt from trouble. This is number two. There were many that suffered during those times. The wise men suffered under Herod. Multitudes of innocent babies were killed by a mad king. But God leads us through our problems and situations. He provides a way through. He gives us the strength that we need, the comforts, the confidence we need that he is always with us. We need to trust him to be with us as we follow the path set before us. Third, God is in control. We can always feel safe when we are living in God's will. That doesn't mean that our lives will be trouble-free or that bad things won't happen to us. But God is in control. Everything that happened in the Christmas story and in the after Christmas story was planned by God. He knew what was going to happen. He is in the Christmas story every step of the way. And he is in our lives, in our story, every step of our lives. God is in control. God had a perfect plan. Joseph was obedient to God, and God provided. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. Amen. Amen. Now, let's sing our final song of the morning, The Anchor Holds.
That's where God proved His love to me. The anchor holds, though the ship's been battered. The anchor holds, though the sails are torn. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging seas. The anchor holds, in spite of the storm. I have fallen on my knees as I face the raging sea. The anchor holds, in spite of the storm.
And now, may you go in peace, and may the peace of God go with you all. And all God's people said, Amen. I hope that this was a Merry Christmas season for you. And I wish you all the very greatest, the very happiest of New Year's. God bless. Until we come together again, in God's name.